After an incredible start to the season, it was little surprise to see thousands upon thousands of spectators descending on Hampshire for rounds 7, 8 and 9 of the 2015 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship at Thruxton. The on-track drama commenced in qualifying when an unfortunate incident between the Ford Focus of Mike Bushell and the Toyota Avensis of Simon Belcher forced both drivers out of the weekend's action. The two cars touched as Bushell's AMD machine left the pit lane, with Belcher coming past on a timed flyer, and the end result was a high-speed smash into the barrier. Bushell was treated at Southampton General Hospital with severe ligament damage, but the rookie is hopeful of a return to action at Alton Park next month. When the action resumed, it was Team BMR's Aaron Smith who scored a maiden pole position with a blistering lap. The lap set by the VW driver was enough to halt Honda's charge to a front row clean sweep, with Gordon Shedden and Matt Neal missing out by just 200ths and 700ths of a second, respectively. The gaps throughout the order were extremely tight, with the top 16 cars separated by less than a second. It was Shedden who blasted off the line and into the lead at the start of race 1, and he was followed through by teammate Neal after he nipped by the slow-starting Smith. Andy Prio's BMW locked up at the complex on the opening lap as the battle for fourth intensified. It was the Mercedes of Adam Morgan that gradually crept away from the chasing pack to join the fight for third as a trio of cars went nose to tail. The scrap effectively ended on lap 8, however, when Aaron Smith's Volkswagen slid wildly at high speed after suffering from a puncture. There were battles galore in the lower end of the top 10, with Josh Cook, Tom Ingram, Sam Tordoff and Rob Collard among those scrapping for valuable points until the finish. Despite an incredibly topsy-turvy race for Btcc returnee Andy Prio, he was eventually able to finish 5th, exactly where he started the contest, after coming out on top of an almighty three-way tussle across the line. Andrew Jordan also benefited after contact between Jack Goff and reigning champion Colin Turkington. As the dust settled, it was Shedden who showed his class by heading home a Honda 1-2, with Neal in second, continuing the success story for the Japanese manufacturer at the fastest circuit in the country. The result for the new Civic Type R was the 8th victory for Honda machinery in the last 9 races at Thruxton, which has impressively spanned 3 models of car. Morgan claimed another eye-catching podium, but he would go even better later in the day. Honda's dominant reign in Hampshire came to an end in the second encounter when Jason Plato's Volkswagen enjoyed a race-long joust with West Surrey Racing's Rob Collard. Plato lost out to Collard off the line, but all eyes were initially behind the lead duo as a coming together between Prio's BMW and Morgan's Mercedes sparked mayhem down the order. Jeff Smith's Eurotech Honda and Josh Cook's PowerMax Racing Chevrolet were able to take evasive action from the incident, but both collected the lightweight Dunlop advertising hoardings as they skittled across the grass. With banners attached to the front of their machines, they were both forced to pit to avoid their cars from overheating. Back up front, and Plato was able to get the run out of Church before making a move back into the lead before the cars reached the final chicane on lap 2. Shedden had settled into third ahead of 4th placed Battle. It was Aaron Smith and Matt Neal's Honda hard at work. That tussle came to an abrupt end on lap 7 when Neal's Civic Type R made contact with the Team BMR machine at the complex. It was a heavy hit, and one that forced Neal into retirement, with Smith only able to limp to a lowly 11th place finish. The race will be remembered, however, for the classic duel between Plato and Collard, with the latter having the pace in all the wrong places. Collard's BMW would close the gap at will through the slower corners, while Plato's Volkswagen would then pull away through the fast sections. Plato never put a wheel wrong and proved why he is the most successful Btcc driver in history, by going on to take an incredible 90th career victory. Collard was second, Shedden bagged third. Starting the day's finale from pole position, Morgan was fully focused as the lights went out, and he fended off the attentions from Andrew Jordan's MG and Sam Tordoff's BMW on the run down to the complex for the first time. There were immediate battles down the field as Shedden and Plato squabbled with Rob Austin's Audi A4 over 8th position. Josh Cook also enjoyed his fair share of action after contact with teammate Dave Newsham. That was followed by his own dramas with Austin and Neil, which eventually led to contact between the Honda and the Chevrolet. Morgan was more than 3 seconds up the road by mid-distance before his advantage was wiped out by a safety car period, which was deployed following an accident involving Warren Scott's Volkswagen. The young Mercedes driver held his nerve after the restart and immediately set about working up a similar gap to his previous effort. In truth, he never came under pressure and cruised to his second ever Btcc victory, much to the delight of his Wix racing team. It made for a happy podium, with Jordan and Tordoff joining Morgan for their first podium of the day. With the series now heading to the northwest, to the picturesque Alton Park circuit in June, we caught up with Race 3 star Adam Morgan ahead of his home event.
Well, Adam, not the first winner's trophy you've had, but the first time you've actually won a race on the road, so to speak. So it's been a great day for you here at Thruxton, hasn't it?
It's been fantastic. You know, in motorsport you have good days and bad days, and this has definitely been one of the best days I've ever had. To be on the podium twice in one day in the touring cars is fantastic, and just a massive thank you to everyone at Wix Racing. They've given me a brilliant car, and you know, it makes everything that much sweeter when you come into the pit lane, you can see everyone there cheering, and I think my dad was crying. So it's brilliant day.
Well, you've got a little bit of time to mop up the tears and have a few drinks before we head off to Alton Park, your home track, so that's one you're very much going to enjoy, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be nice if we could do the same at my home track. You know, we should hopefully have a load of people there, a load of fans and family there. And, you know, I do a lot of work at Alton. You know, I know it like the back of my hand, so hopefully we can pick the pace up and have another repeat of today.
It's a very different track to Thruxton, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. You know, Thruxton is completely unique in terms of speed and how abrasive the tarmac is. Alton itself is, you know, very, very bumpy. There's lots of off-camber corners, you know, lots of dips and rises. Again, it's quite a fast circuit. It's very narrow, but you know, it makes for great racing, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
And it's a race that's always really well attended. Huge fans there, and very enthusiastic fans as well.
Yeah, I think Alton attracts the biggest crowd sometimes. So it's, you know, if we could replicate this Saturday weekend, it'd be even better. But no, it's a great venue. The track itself is fantastic to drive, and yeah, just really can't wait for it.
So clearly you're hoping to be in the hunt. Who are you expecting to be in battling against to get more of these trophies?
You know, the usual suspects. You know, both Honda guys. You know, I think Jason is normally really quick round Alton. So, you know, we're pushing on now towards the front. The car is really coming from strength to strength, and hopefully now we can just keep trying towards the front, and you know, more podiums and some more race wins will be lovely.
See you there.
Thank you very much, you too.